let's get started with a brand new run. Merry Christmas Eve to everybody who celebrates out there. Very excited to be doing episode 2 of the podcast here. I feel like last week went well enough to keep going. And yeah, excited to keep doing this for you all. This past week has been pretty busy for me. I've been like a lot of people, just gearing up for Christmas and trying to get everything in order, especially with the little one at home, and get everything right. I luckily got all my Christmas shopping done. All that's taken care of. I got everything pretty much shipped and in. I'm really only just waiting on one more present for little Cliffy, but the only part about it that sucks, the only part about it that sucks is it's like the one thing he asked me for. I got him some other stuff that I think he's really, really going to like, but the one thing that he asked me for is like the one thing that I keep getting. I ordered it through Poshmark, who I've never used before. But they emailed me. It was supposed to be here before Christmas. They sent me an email saying, hey, it's going to be late. Then they sent me another one saying, hey, it's back on the way. So we'll see if it shows up today. But it was a build. It's called a Build-A-Saurus Rex. I don't know if anybody's seen one of these before, but it's like a dinosaur with like, it's multicolored. It's got a bunch of different like parts you can like plug in and make different dinosaurs. I don't know. It's something he's looking forward to. But that being said, I already broke the news to him and let him know, like, hey, there is a chance that you might have to wait on this, but I think either way, between the stuff that I got him outside of that and things he'll receive from the rest of his family, I think he's gonna have an awesome. I know he's gonna have an awesome Christmas. So very much looking forward to that. Looking forward to spending the next couple days relaxing and hanging out and spending time with my son. We will be off stream tonight and as well as tomorrow, taking Christmas Eve night off and taking the day off, which we would normally stream on those days. We'll also be off Sunday night as well, and we'll either be back Monday night or Tuesday night, but I'll let you all know. But yeah, that's pretty much been it for me in terms of things going down here this week. As far as what we've been up to stream-wise, we have been doing more Cyberpunk at nights. If you haven't been able to catch those streams, Cyberpunk put out an update this past week, version 1.05, which had claimed to fix a lot of the crashes and a lot of broken quest lines and stuff. I was hopeful for it. I found that we crashed, at least initially, it felt like we weren't crashing as much. I think the first night that we went to play it afterwards, I had like 3 hours of no crashing and then 2 crashes within the final hour of us streaming. But then after that, like the next couple days we played, it was the same old stuff. So nothing really new there, unfortunately. That being said, Cyberpunk did put out a brand new update, I think as of today or last night, version 1.06, trying to fix some memory problems to help with stability and crash issues on console, as well as there was a crazy bug where if your save file was over 8 megabits or megabytes, I don't know the right way to say that. It's occurred to me. Megabytes? I think it's bytes. It could possibly corrupt your save file, which is wild. And I guess their solution to that was asking players not to craft a lot of items. As somebody who's playing a build that's focused solely on like destruction with the the shotguns and light machine guns, and then crafting, like that's one thing I'm looking forward to. So I hope they get that fixed. They said they got it fixed for PC. I guess we'll wait and see what happens on console. But yeah, not much new in the terms of Cyberpunk. Same mess, different day, unfortunately. I've been having fun with Cyberpunk, but at this point, I've really just been telling people that while I do enjoy it, I can't, in good faith, tell people to go out and buy that game right now. You have to wait on it, I think. I think you definitely have to wait for Cyberpunk. Hopefully, it gets fixed and hammered out, and Once that happens, then I would say, yeah, probably worth. But in addition to that, we've been doing that at nights. We also, in our morning streams, we've been playing a lot of Axiom Verge as part of a larger event that is been called the Thanks What Is It event, or Thanks What Is It tour, where I've been playing a bunch of games that people have gifted me on Steam or... yeah, mostly on Steam. I've gotten a couple ones that are through that have been sent to me via the mail, PlayStation 2 games and other stuff. But games that have been gifted to me that I really didn't ask for, don't really know too much about, and checking those out. But Axiom Verge is a banger of a game, and if you manage to, you should definitely just go check it out. Go check out Axiom Verge. It's a Metroidvania. It was all done by one person. It's really, really cool. It's just really well done. It's a really well done Metroidvania. It's all done with like pixel art style graphics, and got a lot of cool upgrades and different guns and stuff. I am very much looking forward to playing more of that next week when we come back to streams after Christmas. And yeah, I think that's pretty much been it for us on streams. It's pretty much been Cyberpunk and Axiom Verge, with a random other little. We played Rocket League a little bit at weeks on our night stream this week with Ike, which was awesome. We were running hot initially. The reason I decided to stream it, me and Ike were playing off stream and doing so well. We actually continued that for a little bit when we first started streaming it, but it wasn't long before we were like, you know what, let's move to ranked. Let's check this out. And that is where we got humbled. We got put in the camel clutch, and it wasn't long until we were feeling like, okay, this is probably about as good as we should be playing. But yeah, lots of fun. Shout outs to Ike, man. Always down to join me for some shenanigans. So outside of that pretty much is everything that's been going on with me past week. Inside streams, outside streams. As far as new things just in general, I guess it's kind of relevant to our stream. We got in the Xbox Series X as of last night. Very lucky and fortunate to have our community that decided to surprise me with the funds to pick up both a PS5 and a Series X. I think it was 2 months ago. I think it was in October. It was on my birthday, I think. And we had the PS5. We've been doing PS5 playthroughs, Bugsnax, Demon Souls, all sorts of stuff. But just got the Series X last night, booted it up, signed in. Really just downloaded Madden because there was an upgrade for it, a free upgrade for it, as well as there's one for Rogue Squadrons and or Star Wars Squadrons, sorry. So I downloaded that, haven't played it yet, but and Madden was cool, Madden was fine, but I'm really looking for something to I really want to play something that can like showcase the power of the Series X, if that makes sense. Like I want to find something that shows off those next-gen graphics or the next-gen performance. And I really haven't been able to find... Now, mind you, I didn't look too long. I kind of just looked through what I had already and also took a brief look at the game store. But if anybody out there has any suggestions on Series X stuff specifically that I should be looking for to kind of get that true experience, maybe hook your boy up and let me know. But I am looking forward to checking out more of that. I think I probably will invest in Game Pass here at some point. I think that's a definite for me. But the only thing really stopping me from doing it right now is the fact that we have other games to play. And there's a lot of other stuff that we're currently working through with Cyberpunk and Axiom Verge and everything else. But very, very confident that we will not be in a rut for long. With Game Pass being there. In addition to our new console, the Series X that we just got, there is another console that just got announced / dropped / released, and I don't know how many people have seen this or heard about it, but Kentucky Fried Chicken has come out with the KF console, which is essentially a console that, in addition to being next gen capable, also keeps your chicken hot. It has a chicken chamber. It is the first of its kind, and according to the specs that it boasts to have, it looks like it is very capable of keeping up with Xbox Series X or the PS5, which is really funny to say. It has an Intel i9 processor. It's a special type of processor. I think it's called an NUC processor. It also says it has an Asus hot swappable GPU slot, which I'm assuming just means that you can change out your graphics card easily, an easily accessible way to change out your graphics card. It also has two 1 terabyte SSD storage slots or storage. So like it says it's VR ready. It says it's able to do ray tracing, 240 FPS, 240 hertz, and 4K gaming. It's like the only thing I don't know. I'm assuming that it's basically like a Steam machine where you can play PC games on it. And but yeah, it's actually real. You can go Google it. You can go check it out. I don't know the extent of how they're releasing that thing. I have to imagine it's going to be a super limited time offer. But I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want one. Like, I kind of want one just to know, just to have one. And I feel like it's probably not bad. It's gonna be a lot better than you would expect from like a super like advertisement chill-y kind of thing. The KF console. Oh, 2020. All the things you've brought us. Oh man. If anybody ends up getting their hands on a KF console, I would love to link up and find out more information about that. And I would love to hear a review. So until then, we'll keep our eyes. They have a website. Keep our eyes to the internet and see if they have any release dates or pre-orders available or anything. I think this is much. I think the KF console is probably the best. It's got to be the best gaming-related fast food product probably since the Burger King games, since Sneak King, Big Bumpin', and Pocket Bike Racer, which, by the way, Big Bumpin', great game. Don't sleep on Big Bumpin'. Those games are like the first 3 games I owned for the Xbox 360. What a way to break into... I imagine that like companies are like, man, we really want to get into the gaming space. We know gamers are eating our food. We know we live somewhere in this Venn diagram. And how do we do it? How do we break into the gaming world? How do we get our name out there? You know, Mountain Dew's doing double XP weekends for Call of Duty. Doritos is in there. How does KFC get in this slot? We're going to make our own console. It's a ballsy move. It's a ballsy move, especially if they're going to mass produce them. I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. I didn't think a console with a chicken chamber was going to happen, so who knows? Who knows? So yeah, new Series X, KFC console, and I tell you, the only thing hotter this week that has been announced than the chicken chamber on the KFC console is the Men of Mario Maker Calendar 2021. Just got announced today. For those of you who don't know, it got announced on Twitter right before we went live, and very excited to be a part of that. We are going to make sure to link to it on the YouTube video. The link will be in the details or in the video description. People who are watching live right now can hit !MOMC. But yeah, you are looking at Mr. November for 2021. Last year was co-Mr. August with Spike Vegeta. This year got my own month, like a big boy, and I'm not gonna tell you what I did. I'm not gonna show you what I did. You know, if you want to see, I'm not gonna be the one to leak it. If you want to see, the calendars are $30, and all the proceeds go to the Trevor Project. Last year we did it for direct relief. This year is for the Trevor Project. It's all going towards a good cause. But yeah, it was a whole thing. I'll tell you, my notifications for the past like month, seeing some of the things that have been shown and some of the things that have been said have been quite an experience. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, Failstream is in it. Failstream is on the cover. I think that's the only one you get to see right off the bat. But also included in that lineup, there's 14 of us. Barb, Failstream, Glitchcat, Pooh, myself, Jakku, Mitch Flower Power, Beast, X-Water, Orator, DGR, Laser Belch, Tofu, and Panga. So like there is a ample lineup of Mario Maker streamers that got together for this thing. Shout outs to the team that put it together, for everybody who organized it, and it was quite an undertaking that went into it. But yeah, you can go pick it up now. Go pick up the Men of Mario Maker calendar 2021, 2 years in a row. And if you do, let me know who. Let me know what you think of our pick. But I want to know who your favorite month is. I gotta know. But yeah, that was. I was not expecting that to happen again. I kind of thought that was a one-time deal from last year, and to find out we were doing it again and having it be in the manner that it was, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to explain too much. But yeah, it's a good calendar. Go pick it up, y'all. Go check it out. One other thing, or not one other thing, I guess, but another major thing that happened this week. Not as big as the Men of Mario Maker calendar 2021, but still pretty big. Is the Steam Winter Sale, which ended up dropping on Wednesday. Did I say Fiend? I meant Failstream. No, not the Dragon Fiend. No, Failstream is who I meant. The Steam Winter Sale dropped this week, and there is a bunch of games that got put on that list that I definitely think are worth checking out. A lot of really good deals. Witcher 3 game. I don't know if it's the Game of the Year edition. Or if it's I think it's just the regular one. It's $12. Doom Eternal, $20. Hades was $20. I know a lot of people have been fawning over Hades this year. Halo Master Chief Collection, $24. Which I feel like is a pretty good bargain. Monster Hunter World, which if you got people to play with for $20, I think is not a bad game to get into. Some of the other more notable ones, Disco Elysium, which I haven't checked out personally yet, but I've heard it's won all sorts of awards, is probably one that we will play sometime next year. I think it's a guaranteed that I'll play Disco Elysium. I'll stream it next year for next year's version of the Finally Tour. Is on there. Slay the Spire for $12.50. Little Nightmare is $4. $4 for a Little Nightmare. Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn, the complete edition, which for me is probably one of the best games in the last 5-10 years. Horizon Zero Dawn is amazing, and you get all the DLC and everything for $40. Nino Kuni Wrath of the White Witch remastered for $15. Still haven't checked that out. That was a game I wanted to play a long time ago. Never got the chance to. Yakuza Like a Dragon for $45. That just released. That's on sale. Borderlands 3 for $20 is actually a really interesting one because I played Borderlands 2, loved it. Didn't play Borderlands 1 or the prequel or anything. Borderlands 2 I loved. Borderlands 3 came out, and I was considering it and never pulled the trigger. But I think for $20, I think for $20, I think I'm in on Borderlands 3. I think that's the price is low enough that it's like it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna get much lower than that for the latest entry in that series. So I think that's gonna be a definite for me. Outer Worlds at 30 is, I believe, half off from its normal price. Control is another one I've heard great things about, also on sale for 20. Star Wars Fallen Order at 24. Just a whole lot of games, and these are just a small fraction of them that I thought stood out, but definitely worth checking out if you have not already. The Steam Winter Sale, the Dark Souls games also, like, those usually go on sale during the summer and winter sales, but Dark Souls 3, the deluxe edition, so basically Dark Souls 3 with everything is what, $22. Dark Souls 1 Remastered is $20. Dark Souls 2, $10. And, like, all the DLC for, I guess, I'm not sure if Dark Souls 2 has, like, a full-on complete package with all the DLC. But even the DLC there is marked down as well. So, definitely worth checking out. Dead Cells also at $15. I will definitely be taking advantage of it, not only for myself, but as some of you know, every year for around Christmas, we have a stream where I basically give away a buttload of games. Last year was no exception. We've been doing it for like 2 or 3 years now. It's kind of like in the style of how Ellen or Oprah have one of their shows every year where they give away a lot of things. That was kind of the inspiration for it. But we've done it like 3 years in a row. I think last year we gave out over $1,000 worth of games. Which is I've been able to do thanks to the Steam Winter Sale, essentially, making it affordable. And we will definitely do that again this year. I think that's going to be happening next week. So if you're watching this on YouTube, definitely make sure to come check out the streams this week at night. It'll be a nighttime stream. Be after watching live, and at some point next week. Keep your ears to Twitter or just or Discord if you want to know when that will be. But we will have a large amount of cool games to give away. Like not only a bunch of games, but a bunch of legitimate AAA titles and legitimate indie titles too. So yeah, that's exciting. Definitely looking forward to that. One thing I wanted to do as well this week, considering we only have 2 weeks left of 2020, and with Christmas being here, I wanted to compile a list of games for anybody. I know there's going to be quite a few people getting their hands on new consoles, hopefully, if you're able to manage to pick up one, either a Series X or a PS5. But even if not, maybe you're grabbing an Xbox One or a PS4 for the first time, or maybe it's not even you. Maybe if it's for your kids, or if you've got friends who picked one up, or kids of your friends, whatever it may be. For people who are getting new consoles and are looking for games to pick out. Like, I just got this new Switch. What do I get? I got a couple things. I got something that I wanted, but I don't know what else to get. So I put together a little list for all the different consoles and my personal picks, as well as a couple noteworthy other ones. So for Nintendo Switch, I think for me, and these are in no particular order at all, but if you've got a Switch and you don't already have one of these, definitely worth checking out. I could vouch for any of these 5. Pokemon Sword and Shield is the newest Pokemon. First one out on a home console. I think they did a really, really good job with it. I was happy with the amount of content in the story. A lot of cool quality of life features. Definitely worth checking out. Pokemon Sword and Shield. Animal Crossing was a huge drop this year. More fun if you have friends to play with. If you don't, there are ways you can. There are sites online to link up with people. I know there's people in our Discord playing. There's been a lot of cool things built around that game that the community has come through and made. Turnip exchange from our friends at Warp World to cash in on those turnips. But overall, just a really fun game, especially if you've got, little ones. My son loves Animal Crossing. He was just playing it last night and still working on his stuff. I was surprised to see that they had snow in that game. I completely forgot that they have seasons like that. But a very, very fun game. Mario Odyssey. Also, I think one of the top titles on Switch, 3D platformer, similar to like Super Mario 64 or Mario Sunshine, if you're familiar with any of those. Probably one of the best Mario 3D platformers, if not the best Mario 3D platformer out there, in my opinion. Super well done, in an insane amount of content, with the amount of moons you're able to collect. In Mario 64, you had 120, and I forget, it's like 800, 900 moons or something wild like that. So yeah, Mario Odyssey definitely makes that list. Breath of the Wild, as our fourth one there. Breath of the Wild is probably, if I'm going to suggest one game to get on the Switch, is probably Breath of the Wild. I'll tell you that I have never been a huge Zelda fan. I didn't grow up with a Nintendo. I was a Sega kid, and I've enjoyed the 2D Zeldas. Link to the Past, I would think, was the first one I played. I liked Link Between Worlds. Only really recently this year have I played some more of the 3D Zeldas, but Breath of the Wild, even without having that nostalgia, just as a straight up on its own as a video game, incredible game. And like the ability to, they've got these like mini dungeons, essentially like mini little challenge rooms, or the shrines, I guess they're called, that they want you to collect or complete, are able to be done so in like not your not how they would expect you to do it. So it like really leaves a lot of room to like creativity, and to like, which for me is a really cool, is a thing I like a lot. The ability to beat something in the way I see fit, as opposed to the way that they're telling me to do it. But just overall, a really good game. Again, lots of hours of content, not having to worry about that there, with getting your money's worth out of the game, content-wise. Breath of the Wild, instant pick for sure for me. And then the last one I would want to throw on this list too was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So, fighting game. If you're not, and I know for a lot of people listening to this, you're like, yes, we know, Cliffy. We know that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a fighting game. But the reason I'm putting this whole thing together, this list together, is for people maybe who know nothing about video games, right? Maybe you're a parent listening, or you're a friend, or I don't know how you came across our podcast, but you don't know. Maybe you're a PlayStation person. You don't really know anything about Nintendo. But Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, fighting game, tons of characters, tons of notable characters, both from Nintendo and outside of Nintendo. It's the latest entry in their franchise, and I think if with all the other ones we listed in there, Breath of the Wild, Pokemon Sword, Animal Crossing, Mario Odyssey, I wanted to throw one in there that was mix the genres up a little bit, get a fighting game in there, and that's probably the one to go to on Switch if you're going to get one. So those are my 5 for Nintendo for Nintendo Switch. If you're getting one or somebody you know is getting one: Breath of the Wild, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Animal Crossing, Mario Odyssey, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And as a notable mention, I would be remiss if I didn't include Super Mario Maker 2 in there. I feel like I would not have a job if not for the Super Mario Maker franchise. So it would be a blatant middle finger to the Super Mario Maker world if I didn't throw that in there. But I just feel it's not as strong of a pick. I love Super Mario Maker 1, Super Mario Maker 2, not as much. Mind you, those are very hard critiques from me, from somebody who's played it a lot. But those other 5, I think, the other 5 just stand out a little bit better. And maybe if 2D Mario is your thing, Mario Maker, great pick. Especially if you didn't have a Wii U, didn't get Mario Maker 1, or if your kids like to play 2D Marios or 2D side-scrolling games, definitely can't go wrong with Mario Maker 2 as well. So yeah, that's our list for Nintendo Switch. PlayStation is, and I'll say this both for PlayStation and Xbox, I kind of started this whole thing off putting this list together with the idea of people getting PS5s and Series X's in mind, but I think, and just double-checking the list that I have here, yeah, double-checking the list I have here, these games really go for both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One as well, so so even if you don't have a brand new console, you know what I mean, maybe you have, like I said, you're getting a PS4 for the first time, which to me is still a very viable option. If you don't have a PS4 or an Xbox One, the library is at this point very full, and very much worth getting. But yeah, PS5. Must-have games. If you've already got the console, you've already got the game you want. If you do not have these 5 games, definitely look into them. Horizon Zero Dawn. I'll kick it off. And again, in no particular order, but Horizon Zero Dawn for me, one of the best games to come out past 5-10 years. Open world action game set in the future. It's got robot dinosaurs. Graphics on it. It was a PS4 launch title. Graphics on it are amazing. I played through it once. I didn't really do much of the side story stuff, only in the main quest. Kind of stuck to that. But the story in it was great. I still need to go back and play the DLC for it. And I'm very much looking for... I've got to say that the Horizon Zero Dawn coming out for PS5 is probably my most anticipated title currently at all. So if you have a PS4 or a PS5 and you haven't played Horizon Zero Dawn, go play it. Go pick it up. Go buy it. Go check it out. Definitely worth checking out. The next one, it's my favorite fighting game all time. Ever. Old stuff, new stuff, anything. Mortal Kombat 11, which is available on... It's not only available on PlayStation, but I have it on PlayStation. And so that's where I threw it at on this list. Mortal Kombat 11, great cast of characters. The animation and stuff is super well done. Graphics are super well done. Everything feels smooth. The mechanics wise, it feels like for every question there's an answer, I guess is the best way to put it. Anytime there's an opponent trying to do something, they have a great system built to counter it. It's got a bunch of cosmetics in there. They've done a great job on the cosmetics, and giving you the ability to customize the look of your characters, and the way you unlock them through the Towers of Time is really cool. They also have a whole separate crypt system in there, which when bragging about Mortal Kombat 11, I often forget because I spent a lot of time in there when I first got the game. But to go and unlock stuff in that game, they've got a whole other separate game mode where you're walking around as you have a character, you're walking around in a 3D world and using your in-game currency to unlock these chests essentially that are unlocking concept art and new skins. There's even puzzle elements built into it to where you're within that world. It's just there's so much awesome stuff about that game. Also, for people who want to play at a higher level with Mortal Kombat 11, they've got a really in-depth training system built in there where they even get into frame data and how many frames each move takes. It's the best Mortal Kombat game ever. Better than the old ones, better than any recent ones. It's my favorite. And so yeah, gotta throw it on this list for must buy for PlayStation. Where are we at? Spider-Man, PlayStation 4. You can still play it on PlayStation 5. Miles Morales has just come out for the PlayStation 5. I haven't played that. I didn't want to throw that on this list. I was either going to do that or Spider-Man, as opposed to both having them on this list. And I've played Spider-Man, so that's the one I chose to throw on there. I've heard good things about Miles Morales. But, yeah, Spider-Man, open world. If you played the original, I guess not the original, but the PlayStation 2 version of Spider-Man, where you're able to swing through the cities of New York freely, just like Spider-Man would, that you get that same experience from Spider-Man on PS4. And the graphics are really well done. One of the only downfalls to me about the Spider-Man, the new one, would have to be the combat. I feel like at a certain point it gets a little stale, but still a very minor critique on an otherwise excellent game, and definitely worth checking out. Definitely worth your money. You'll get your value out of it. It's got a really great story. Definitely go pick up Spider-Man. Another one, and this is, this might not make all the lists, but it's going to make my list, is Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. It's a Dark Souls-like game from Software. Sekiro felt really, really smooth. It's definitely a harder game, one of the harder games on any of these lists that I'm putting out. It will be a challenge. I would maybe not recommend it for a younger audience. I mean, obviously, also Mortal Kombat would not recommend for a super young audience either. But if you're up for a challenge, Sekiro has a lot of... the game is beautiful. A lot of the bosses are really, really well done. And just the combat in general and level design in that are incredible as well. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, definitely worth picking up, in my opinion, on PS4 or PS5. And then... where is that? That's 4. We have our final one. My final must-have game for PlayStation, for new console owners, would have to be the Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I feel like this one kind of hits on that same note for me, how Breath of the Wild did, where I've never even played a Final Fantasy before. Maybe if you've played Final Fantasies, maybe you'll have a different opinion on it, or different take on it. But for somebody who's never played a Final Fantasy ever, Final Fantasy VII, the remake, was done incredibly well. The story was really cool. The combat was awesome. The customization and the RPG elements of it, being able to unlock new gear and pick your party and set everything up like that. All of that done super well. I have not played the original Final Fantasy VII, so I can't really tell you how it holds up to that. But yeah, to me, it's probably... it's an easy game of the year choice and definitely a must-have for PlayStation. 2 other ones that, outside of our top 5 must-get games for PlayStation, I will put in Death Stranding. The only reason I didn't include it, and kind of like Super Mario Maker 2, I felt like it wasn't as strong of a pick. I would personally put it in the top 5, but I feel like the other 5 might have a slightly better mass appeal. I also feel like Death Stranding was extremely polarizing. I loved it, but I know there's a lot of people who did not love it. So for Death Stranding, that's one that I would look into. See if it looks like the type of game that you would enjoy. But if it looks like something you might be into, I would pull the trigger on it and go for it. It was a long game. I had a blast with it. Very unique concept to it. I won't spoil that, because that's one of the coolest things about that game, is when you figure out what's going on and why it's going on. But it's the first game from Hideo Kojima, the person who created Metal Gear Solid. It's his new company, and I think they did a great job with it. It was very it was a very confusing game, trying to figure out what that game was leading up to its release, but I think they did an excellent job pulling that off. And the other game, the other must-buy game, or something you're looking for PlayStation, is going to be God of War. And the only reason I didn't include that in my list is because I haven't played it. But out of the games that I have not played, this is probably the one that I've been told to play the most, and that I've heard I don't think I've heard one person say that God of War is a bad game or that they didn't enjoy it for any reason. It did get included on the PS Plus collection for people who own a PlayStation 5. If you have the PlayStation Plus subscription, it is included in there. So if you're looking for something to buy for somebody else, make sure that, obviously with all of these, make sure they don't have the game already, but you can get that one for free via that collection. And God of War is one that I'm going to be looking to play at some point next year for sure, especially since I already own it. Definitely going to be a playthrough from us, a live playthrough on stream. So, yeah, that wraps up our PlayStation list. We've done Nintendo, we've done PlayStation, and that just leaves us with Xbox, essentially. And for the top 5 games of Xbox, for whether it's Xbox One or Series X, it's going to feel like a bit of a comp-out, but the top 5 games is Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass. If the person you know has a game in mind, or if they already have the games they want in mind, or maybe you've bought the Xbox One for the game you want in mind, go get the Game Pass. It's a no-brainer. It's an easy call. There's so many good games on the Game Pass to pick through. Doom Eternal, Dead by Daylight, Destiny 2, Halo 5, the entire Master Chief Collection, Minecraft, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. There's something in there for everybody, and it's the best subscription-based collection of games out there. Blows PlayStation, I guess, is it now? PlayStation Now out of the water in terms of quality, in my opinion. And I think it's $15 a month. If you're looking to get, if you got a console and you've been thinking about getting Game Pass, if you just got an Xbox One or a Series X and you're thinking about it, you're not sure if it's worth the value, it is. It is 100% of the way. Definitely go check out the Game Pass. It also made my job easy in picking out. Honestly, the harder thing, I was trying to look for games, must-buy games that are not on the Game Pass, and I didn't really see many. But I do have one little bonus segment, bonus tidbit. Outside of the big three, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox, there are 2 additional games that I think could be thrown into any of the lists, and that's because these games are available on all 3 systems, and I think make a great gift. They're very all ages appropriate, and those would be Terraria, which I played for the first time last week or 2 weeks ago. Very similar to Minecraft. It's a survival crafting type game. It's set in 2D. It's got a lot of cool items and elements that you can pick up. You can also play multiplayer with it. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit better than Minecraft. I got to play it. I got to experience it online multiplayer with friends recently as well. It was a blast. If you or your kids are looking for something new, something fun, and you have not checked out Terraria, highly recommend it. Goes on sale often. It's available, like I said, on all 3 major platforms as well as PC. So highly recommend that one. And the other one is the other game is Shovel Knight, the Treasure Trove, which I actually just purchased for a friend for the first time. Incredible platforming game. The DLC, if you're going to get it, make sure to get the Treasure Trove that includes all the DLC with it, and have a blast, because it's such a incredibly well done game. The level design, the music, the art, the story, everything is great. The DLC I won't spoil what the DLC is, but the DLC all ties into the game very well. Probably one of the best DLC. One of the games with, or one of the best DLCs for a game, I'll say. A lot of times it feels like DLC gets really tacked on to games as an afterthought, or like it's like a small quest or something, but these are very like full-fledged pieces of content. So if you get Shovel Knight, make sure to get the DLC for it. But yeah, I think that wraps up our list. That's our must-buys for you or for your friends. Make sure to pass that along. that is our list. That wraps up our list. And that almost wraps up our podcast. But before we do that, we do have a couple questions that got sent in this week via email. I appreciate everybody sending in. Last week we had a question from one of our mods. This week we also have a question from one of our mods, but we've got a couple other questions as well. And our first question today comes from my good friend Xwater. Shoutouts to Mickey. He says, "Hey there, buddy. Recently, you did the Finally Tour, where you played through legendary games you missed. Out of the games you played, did you feel any of them didn't hold up to their reputations? If so, which ones? And if not, which one was the best of them that you played?" So, to take a real quick look at the list of games that I played, yes, this past year, for the first time ever, I played through Yoshi's Island, Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2, Shovel Knight and all of its DLCs, Super Metroid, Dead Space 1 and 2, Viva Pinata, Ori 1 and 2, Bastion, Metroid Prime, Wind Waker, Super Mario RPG, albeit the translated version of that, which was a wild experience, the Final Fantasy VII Remake, Breath of the Wild, Resident Evil 4, Red Dead Redemption 2, Hollow Knight, Bloodborne, and Yakuza 0. There were also some notoriously bad games that I played through for the first time in the forms of E.T., Superman 64, Bubsy 3D, and I feel like there was one or two others in there. Very thick list, extremely thick list of games in there. I will say that most of them held up. I would say that like 95% of those games held up and were very worthy of being on that list. Are well regarded for a good reason. Out of the games that I think I think we'll answer both here for Mickey. I think out of the games that didn't hold up for me, I think Dead Space 2 wasn't as good. I probably would not have, like, if I had known, I probably would not have added. I would have just played Dead Space 1. And out of that, I think that's pretty much it. I think everything else did a really good job of holding up. Viva Pinata might be the only other one on there, and Viva Pinata was an amazing experience. The only reason I would even say that is because that game ran a little bit long, and ended up being much more difficult than I thought it was going to be. But those are probably the two. And honestly, I'm going to take Viva Pinata off because I feel like Viva Pinata was excellent, and you should play it if you have not played it. But yeah, Dead Space 2, I think, is the only one on there. Out of which one was the best? For me, it's easy. That answer is Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild may be the greatest game I've ever played. Might be my favorite game of all time. And again, not a huge Zelda fan. Don't have nostalgia for it. Just as a game, and not even really because it's Zelda, just as a game. An incredible 3D action platforming game that allows you to use creativity to solve puzzles in ways, like pretty much any way that you think possible. Anytime you think something in that game works, like you're like, I wonder if this will work. It works. That I think the answer for me is easy there. So yeah, thank you. Shoutouts to Xwater. Make sure to go watch Xwater on Twitch. Xwater out here doing big things. Just got done co-hosting Pooh's holiday special. I didn't get to tune into a lot of it, but I know that it went off well. They raised a whole bunch of money over there. And I think over like 92,000 or something. So shoutouts to Pooh, love Mickey. Make sure to go follow Mickey on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Xwater. We'll make sure to have his link down in the video details below as well. The second question is we have 3 questions today that we're gonna go through. The second question comes from yet another one of our mods. So shout outs to Giggle Gal, who sends in this week and says, what would you say your favorite game and least favorite game were before you started streaming? And have the games changed since then? The games have definitely changed since then. As far as the games before, it's really hard. I don't know if I have a least favorite game before I started streaming. Because it's it's weird with streaming. Like if there's a game I don't like, I generally try to stick with it until I'm beat it, and then I'll have my feelings about it afterwards. I can tell you right now, least favorite game ever is a toss-up between either Pears and Grey Witch or Bubsy 3D. And it's real close because both of those are really horrible. Pears and Grey Witch was so bad I uninstalled it. It's a PC game. Don't even look into it. Don't even look up what that game is. Bubsy 3D also, camera controls and audio for me. The audio I think was the worst part of that whole experience. As far as favorite game post streaming, I have to say Mario Maker 1, and that's part of like my experience with it. Yes, the game itself, but also like my experience with that game throughout its life cycle. And honestly, that's kind of like where our whole streaming everything came from, was Mario Maker 1. So for me, that's easy called as well. Mario Maker 1, favorite game, Bubsy 3D, and Pears and Grey Witch for least favorite game. Before I started streaming, it's really hard. I'm trying to think of like some of the games I poured most of my hours into as a child. It's really hard. Madden 06 is one for me. PlayStation 2, Madden 06. Many hours of that. Many good memories playing that game with my dad. WWF. I don't know if I have one. I can list a couple. No, not WWF. WCW. NWO Revenge is for sure one for me for N64. And it's really hard. Super Mario World I would probably throw on there. Not one. I didn't actually even own a Super Nintendo. I had a Game Boy Advance was the first time I could play that, but played the hell out of that game. It's really hard to pick one. I played a wide variety. I enjoy a wide variety of genres and, consoles as well. So it's like, it's really hard to dial that in. I might be able to dial it in based on console, but those are some ones that stick out for me just right off the top of my head. And least favorite game from before streaming, I don't know if I had one, because it's just like, if I didn't like a game, I really didn't spend too much time with it, because it would just be like, well, I'm done playing, pull the card out, or turn the game off, or bring it back to the video store, or I'm just never playing this game again. Maybe no, I guess that was after streaming too. I was gonna say No Man's Sky. I felt like No Man's Sky and Sea of Thieves on launch were really rough for me, but those were post streaming as well. Yeah. I don't know if there is one. I don't know if I have a least favorite game prior to streaming, but yeah, that's it. So thank you, Giggle Gal, for sending that in. And the last question we have is from our very own Jen Bell, who sent in 3 questions. I'm going to pick one, at least for this week. If we're short on questions next week, I can definitely maybe dive back into some of these other ones. But Jen sends in, what book, show, or movie would you like to see get the modern video game treatment? And this one I actually had to think about quite a bit. Because I feel like a lot of my favorite things either wouldn't be done well if put into video game format. Either that, or some of them already have. But I will say, moving forward, if the game was going to be a good game, if it was well done, I think something that really interests me with media is kind of like the prequel stuff. And mind you, there have been many bad prequels, so this might be this might be a hot take, but I feel like prequels, when done right, can be some of the most interesting content when it comes to, a franchise. Some big ones that stand out for me, Knights of the Old Republic, for the original Xbox. Finding out what happened in the Star Wars saga, thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of years ago prior, was done super well. And I think set the stage for a lot of the stuff that happens later. Was really cool to kind of like move around in a world that I was familiar with, but you can get all sorts of brand new storylines. Another one that's coming out soon, the Harry Potter game that's coming out, interests me. It's set before, I think, 100 years before the movies comes out. And I'm not really a huge Harry Potter fan, but that concept strikes me as cool. So I think for me, if I had to pick one, series to go with, I think one, if it was done well, Game of Thrones. I think if they went back and did Game of Thrones, some of the earlier stuff, maybe they don't even have to go that far back, but maybe Ned Stark's coming up, and because they touched a little bit about that in the show, and how some of the dynasties and stuff, all that stuff played out before the setting of the show. It's something that wasn't really talked about a lot, but I think if done well, could be a great game. Now, mind you, I wasn't super happy with how Game of Thrones ended, so I don't know if that's something I actually want. I don't know if I want to get back into that world when I know where the end takes me, but I feel like it could come out along the lines of something like KOTOR. But you could also even go farther back than Ned Stark's coming up. You could go back to when they had the children. I'm gonna butcher the names and the names for the characters. I think it's the Children of the Forest and the First Men is what they call them. But I think you could do some cool stuff with that as well. So another one that another mention, I just don't know how it would work as a game, but some of my other favorite books, shows, and movies, Breaking Bad, I don't know how you would do that. I don't know if it becomes, GTA. Are you playing as Walter White? Do you have to get up and cook? Is there a Walt Jr. mini game cooking him breakfast? Do you have to go and do all the stuff at the car wash? I don't know. I'm not really sure how that would play out. So, yeah. It's just, I feel like most of my favorite things would not work well as video games. But that idea, I think, is cool. And I think you could do that with lots of different franchises. You could probably also do it with Lord of the Rings, or anything that has the possibility to go back hundreds or thousands of years and kind of set the stage for that. Is probably what I would go to. So, yeah. That is going to be the end of our episode 2, our podcast. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to doing this again next week, and bringing you yet another episode. Next week, we'll probably talk more about Game of the Year. It'll be the last week before of 2020, so I'll probably go into some of my thoughts on Game of the Year, what I thought was Game of the Year, and just other new stuff that's going on from now till then, and in my life and in gaming, pop culture, all that. So go check out episode 1 if you haven't already. We just dropped that, and we'll have the links to the Men of Mario Maker calendar. And outside of that, I hope you have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas if you celebrate, and I will check you all later. Thank you very much.